pace in the final minutes there, and a final shot that they're going to be talking about in Oklahoma City for a long, long time. Vic Lombardi, Bill Hanslick, and Christopher Dempsey here for the post-game live show. I don't know where you go from there because, again, the Nuggets had every opportunity to take this game, given the fact that OKC was minus 2 centers.
Yeah, they scored plenty, Debs. The offense wasn't perfect, but they scored a lot. Defensively, had a lot of issues with some of the fundamentals. I didn't fault the strategy. I love how they got in the gas, but still too many guys getting in the paint, kick out threes or layups, and the points by the lowest quarter they had for OKC was 29 in the second. Mm-hmm. You can't win giving up the points they gave up.
Yeah, and also I thought OKC got the Nuggets defense in a really bad predicament, and that is, so the Nuggets wanted to double team Shai Gilgeous-Alexander just to get the ball out of his hands and have somebody else shoot the ball. Well, Jalen Williams made 7 3-pointers in this game. 7. They had a bunch of guys they made 19 as a team. When the Nuggets got the ball out of Shai's hands, somebody else made a shot. Mm-hmm. So then what you have to do is recalibrate your defense so that now maybe you're not doubling Shai. Well, then he takes any matchup, and it's not just the Nuggets. Any matchup in the NBA, he has 126 straight games of at least 20 points. So this is not a Nuggets can't guard Shai. It's nobody in the world can guard Shai. So when you have a team in that defensive predicament, it becomes a problem, and it became a problem defensively for the Nuggets to be able to slow them down.
Again, I mean, a clutch game, the Nuggets fall short. Don't allow it to be clutch if you take care of business early, but the final 2 minutes were something to behold. The MVPs, the 2 MVPs over the last 2 years going back and forth from the three-point line. Joker with a minute to play. Bang! Nuggets are in the game. This one cuts it to 3. Everybody's like, all right, Nuggets are right back in it, but then SGA takes his turn. Look at the clock. Look at the shot. Look at the results. My goodness. They're back up by 4 at this point. You're thinking, okay, the Nuggets need a lot of help. 8 seconds left. Well, watch this. Joker, top of the key. 3, and Jamal gets fouled. That's a 4-point play.
Makes the free throw. Unbelievable play call. I love how this was diagrammed up. Details with Demps next game. We'll have this.
Okay, all right, we're fine. Except he's got one more look at it. And when he gets a look, he don't miss.
I mean, this is just step back.
That's talent.
That's nastiness right there, man. That's what that is. And look, he's the reigning MVP, and that's what MVP caliber players do. You see this graphic right here. Nikola Jokic had 10 straight points right there to lead up to some of that business right at the end. And so, he did his part to keep the Nuggets in this game, to try to push it to overtime. But this is great players. Look at this stats for both these guys. That's crazy.
You know what's funny?
Those are crazy.
As we battle back and forth on who should be the MVP this year. Those 2 are it. Everybody else
is way
you're way in the rearview mirror.
It's the truth, man.
Yeah.
It really is. And it's too bad for the Nuggets. Look, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Look, I know there was personnel losses for Oklahoma City. They have been without personnel for many, 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 many games this season. They've won 50 times, now 51. You just don't get to that number if the depth behind your main players is not good.
They're just a deeper team. They're the deepest team in the league.
Yeah,
it just is.
I totally Dempsey hit it on the head. The depth of these aren't guys. I mean, they pick up the guy from the Sixers, and that dude is drilling threes. I mean,
A.J. Mitchell.
They give their coaching staff a lot of credit. Mitchell was spectacular, and it's one thing to let Shai go off. Mm-hmm. Okay, great, but you have to close off some of the Nuggets.
Correct.
Didn't really close off anything.
So we wonder tonight with OKC minus their 2 centers, no Chet Holmgren, no Isaiah Hartenstein. They go to Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, not the All-Star. And all he did is produce a game for the ages. This guy hit 7 threes to go along with 29 points, 12 rebounds. 7 threes, and you're right, they were wide open threes because the Nuggets were forced to double SGA.
Yeah, and just look at these. Look, this was a player that coming into the season, if you said we're going to give Jalen Williams 11 three-point shots, okay, cool. But the issue is he actually got better at shooting three-pointers.
Oh.
And he actually, I think the game prior to the last time these two teams played, he scored 30 points in that game. And so there are teams that are leaving him open with, the intent to, okay, if he beats us, then we weren't going to win tonight anyway. Well, then he just beat you.
Beat him to the tune of three-point shot at the buzzer, and the Nuggets fall their third loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder, which begins a rough week for the over and done with, especially what happened the last go-around in OKC, where he blatantly tripped Nikola Jokic, apologized. Their head coach apologized for his reaction today.
Yeah, days later.
And then, in the final minute of tonight's game, if you didn't see it, here it is again. Watch Lou Dort in slow motion with the left arm. The left arm rakes Joker right across the schnoz. Now, Bill, you played a lot of basketball, a lot. At what point do you raise that arm to get across a pick?
Never. Never. Not the backhand. I mean, holy cow. And Scott was talking about he didn't think that was a flagrant foul. It is by the rules. You cannot make contact to somebody's face and say it was an accident.
But what's the point?
And it was unnecessary.
What's
and
the need?
he was literally going the other way.
He almost dislocated his shoulder going backwards.
Do that.
I actually almost thought at first that maybe he got hit from behind, which might cause he didn't even know. That's not what happened.
No.
He just swung that arm from behind. Look, here's what I'm going to say about Lou Dort. He is too good of a defensive player to start to get into these little shenanigans where you're cheap shotting people, you're taking people out of the air. We saw the Ja Morant video got resurrected after the last time these two teams played. It's one thing to play very tough and very physically, and yes, when you play very physically, there are going to be some spills and some whatevers. But to start to get to the space that he's getting in right now is it's dirty. Yeah. And the Nuggets are we'll see them again, and we'll have to play through it.
We're not the only ones who feel that way. Ask the Nuggets and the Nuggets coaches. David Adelman responding to the media in OKC right now.
David, can you just kind of take us through that final defensive possession where Shai hit the game winner, and then just at large, how do you feel like you guys defended him on the night?
Yeah, we threw a lot at him. Aaron came to trap him. He went away from the trap. He hit a hell of a shot. The step back to his right, you can't foul him. I thought it was well contested. We just watched it. Obviously, we came out. We said whoever's in the middle of the floor is going to come back and hit him. He saw that. He went the other direction. So it was a big-time shot by a really good player.
How would you just evaluate the way you guys executed down the stretch?
I thought we executed well. We got good shots. At the end, we got Nicole the three. Got the ball inside to him. Got Aaron on the block a couple times. He didn't finish at the rim. I'll take that every day if I can get him a matchup down there. And I thought Jamal was great in the side pick and roll with Nikola. So I've said this before, the execution part I think is being over-talked about. I think we executed. We didn't turn the ball over. Shai made an unbelievable shot. So if they executed well because he made two step-back contested threes, that's great execution or it's a great player. So that's how the stuff works. We've had those nights where Jamal's made incredibly tough shots, and you say that we did something really well. Sometimes players make plays in big games. So Nikola made his play. He made the three. Jamal made the free throw. Those are our big-time guys, and Shai obviously finished it and just finished 3 points behind.
You mentioned Aaron. What was kind of the game plan going and beating him early inside?
Yeah, just with the matchups that he had, and it's a shame that he's just coming back. I think that would have been a 40-point night. He had good juice early, got to the rim early, rim running, stuff that we haven't had in months with a bigger guy. And so that was good to see. A lot of positives from him. Obviously, it's tough to get your rhythm when he's on a minute restriction. We wouldn't have played him in overtime. He was right there at the end. But just saw a lot of good things from Aaron. You just forget what he brings to us, the ball handling, the execution, all those kind of things. He's a big part of what we do. Unfortunately for me, it was the second quarter that lost us this game. Again, we started the second quarter. We had I think it was 6 points in 6 minutes. Just didn't do a good enough job. Was not ball strong around the rim. So we have to keep searching for the right unit that can play together and complement each other.
David, kind of building on that, when you guys were here 10 days ago, started the second quarter, they were small with Jalen Williams. Tonight they went super small. It was like Kenrich and Lou.
Yeah.
What are the challenges, or what do you guys need to do better against those kind of lineups?
Well, to their credit, Dort made a three. You put your guys in coverage, your center like JV, and you want the ball to find, the lesser of the evils. Those guys made some shots, but I didn't think that's what hurt us. I thought it was just their runouts, their pace compared to ours. And I think we got frustrated with the fact that we missed some easy shots around the rim. And you can't do that. You have to continue to play the game. So we got to the 6-minute mark. We were lucky to only be down a few because we didn't play well enough. And in games like this, against teams this good, you can't have lulls of 6 minutes. So we'll do what we have to do. We'll try to figure out what the best unit was. There were some positives. That Spencer was really good tonight. His energy was great off the bench. And obviously Tim was really special. It was unfortunate with Cam, had the back spasm, so Tim had to play longer runs, longer stints, which changed the rotation in the second half. But we got through it and gave ourselves a chance to win the game.
Jokic seemed really effective in the low post once he started going down there. Normally he operates kind of at the elbow. Was that something you intentionally did? Did he want to do that?
Yeah, and I think it's a guessing game. Sometimes they doubled, sometimes they didn't. When he went quick, I thought he was efficient and he scored. And when they doubled, we had good looks. And I'll say this all the time, the other guys have to make shots. And if you look at that stat sheet, they had a lot of guys make shots, and we doubled Shai. So you have to have a plethora of people step up. Tim was the guy tonight. He pretty much carried us from the three-point line. I just need other people to make timely shots. So to their credit, when you put two on somebody as good as Shai, just like as good as Nikola, somebody else, they have to step up and make the open shot. We got that tonight, but just from one guy. So we got to get more from that from other people.
In close games, you're always going to talk about the one plays. You challenged the block shot on Shai. They overruled it or held their call up. Were you given an explanation why that was not overturned?
Yeah, they said the contact after the ball was hit, I guess was more than marginal. I was under the impression that if the ball is touched first, pretty much everything's just what it is. So that was interesting. But that's what Mark saw. That's how he explained it. That's why we challenged it, because of the amount of times I've seen the ball get hit, and then directly following that, there's all kinds of contact, but they always tell you, well, they hit the ball first, the deflection happened first. So that's how we challenged it. Once the guys they watched in the back, it seemed like a good challenge, but they didn't see it the way we saw it.
On the flip side of that, you were pretty hot after the Dort Jokic screen. Did you see anything malicious there?
I'm done talking about that. Like it's every time we play them, so it's just you got to move past it. You just try to win the game. Obviously, that play helped us stay in the game. Sometimes plays like that can flip a game. It got us to tie the game. So I don't know. His arm flailed. It happened to catch him in the face. That's all I'll say about it.
So does that answer the question whether or not the Nuggets think it was a dirty play?
I'm done talking about it, but we talked about it a little bit. I love it.
Again, you played basketball all your life. You've played basketball. We've all watched basketball. At what point do you ever see the need for a person trying to get through a screen to flail his back arm at the screener? When?
In the face.
Have you ever seen that?
No.
What's the purpose of the back arm doing that?
To make it look like he got fouled on the screen.
Yeah.
And he just flailed.
Yeah.
He wanted to try to draw a foul, which he does. He's a flopper.
Yeah, or to
No.
just kind of like fly by and hit somebody in the face and just keep on going. I mean, sometimes the motive is it's to like deal out a little a hit is what it is. Now look, Jokic did the right thing, which was collapse down to the floor, because what we need to do now is this needs to be highlighted in terms of what Lou Dort did right here, which is he barely even touched this screen.
This isn't even the good angle. The OKC feed has a much better angle. Unfortunately, their announcer yelling that it wasn't a foul. They said there was never any contact made.
Yeah, that's bad. But that's Lou Dort right now, and so, I know David Adelman didn't say anything because he didn't want to go too far. But when he gets back into the locker room, he's going to tell the team, okay, well, we know what this guy's all about.
Yeah, but shouldn't he have said that the last time?
He did, and truth be told, Lou Dort was really not a factor in a big way in this game.
No.
So, and it was his mistake that gave the Nuggets.
He said it right. You just got to move on, because if you focus on one aspect of
everybody else will beat
you're not gonna beat OKC.
Yeah.
You got to
All right, when we come back, we will hear from SGA, who hit that dagger at the buzzer. And here he is with Joker, still very respectful of one another despite the final score.
Jokic ahead to Christian Brown is on the run. There is Christian Brown. He's come out to play. Struggle the middleman. Over to Murray. 4-3.